everyone. My name is Shneil Webley Roberts, and today I'll be showing you how you can use Solver in Excel. So, for those of you who may not know or need a refresher, Solver is a built-in Excel tool that allows you to solve optimization problems by finding the optimal solution based on defined constraints and objectives. So here on the screen, we have some inventory and price information for a fresh juice stand. Now that the weather is warming up, Lucy of Lucy's Juices wants to know how much of each juice should she make in order to make the most profit. She wants to sell 3 juices, so lemonade, orange juice, and limeade. And here you can see the prices for each $2, $1.50, and $1 respectively. And then below that, we have the quantities for each of them. Right now, it's set to 0 because this is going to be the changing variables that Solver is going to use to give us the optimal quantity for each juice. Below that, we have a list of the ingredients that Lucy needs to make for each juice. The lemons, water, sugar, oranges, honey, limes, and then next to that is the inventory that we have of each. So we have 120 lemons in stock and so on. And so luckily for Lucy, for her, she doesn't need a lot of ingredients. And also each of the juices, they have pretty much the same recipe. So here in the center 3 columns, it's showing how much of each ingredient is needed for each juice. So for example, to make 1 cup of lemonade, you need 1 lemon, 1 cup of water, and 0.125 cups of sugar, which is basically 2 tablespoons. And that's the same format for all of them. So these are the recipes for each of the juices. And moving on to the inventory used, for this, we want to keep track of the amount of ingredients that are being used for each cup of juice being made. So if you click in the cell here, you can see the formula. So we have an absolute reference to cell C5, which is the quantity of lemonades being made, and then it's being multiplied by the amount of lemons that are used for 1 cup of lemonade. So say we change the quantity to 10. As you can see, it changed the inventory used to 10 because to make 10 juices, we would need 10 lemons. So that's how that works. And so say, for example, for the second row, all of the recipes uses water. So here it's just going to be a summation of the products of for each of the juices. And so that formula is being applied for all the remainder rows. So next we have the inventory left over or inventory left, and here it's basically just the difference between the original inventory and the inventory being used. So as you can see, when I changed this to 10, the inventory left over changed to 110 because 120 minus 10 is 110. So that's being applied, that formula is being applied to all the remainder rows as well. And then at the bottom of here, we have profits by product. So let me undo this. We have profits by product. So it's basically just multiplying the price of the lemon of 1 cup of lemonade to the quantity, and then that's the profit being made of the product. And it's the same for each of the juices. And the total product is just the sum of the profits. And so it will give us our total profit. So now that you know what's going on here on the screen, let's go into Solver. So under the Data tab, you can find Solver to the far right. But if you don't have this on your screen, what you're going to do is go to File, then Options, then Add-ins, and then where it says Manage, you want to make sure Excel add-ins are highlighted because there's multiple options, but it should be defaulted to Excel add-ins. But just so you know, there's a drop-down. Then you're going to click Go. And then if Solver is unselected for you like this, make sure you have a blue check mark like that, and then just click OK. So Solver should be there for you. So you're going to click on Solver. And so everything here is already populated, so I'll just explain it to you all right now. So our objective is going to be total profits, which is in cell C15. And we're going to make sure max is also selected because we want to get the most amount of profits possible. So in order to do that, we want to select a max. And our changing variable cells are the quantity cells, like I mentioned earlier, because we want solver to change these cells in order to give us the highest profit that we are expecting to see. So now for the constraints, you can see there's currently three constraints present. So the first and second constraint, they're basically saying the same thing, which is that the changing cells, which are, as you can see, it's C5 to E5, so the changing cells should be a positive integer. And the last constraint is to ensure that our last constraint for cells G8 to G13, which is our inventory left data, that's just telling us that we want to ensure that our inventory that's left over, it's always 0 or more, because we want to always have either nothing in stock or more. It shouldn't be negative. Really only the last constraint is really needed in this case because solver will already give us the positive numbers. Since we are looking for a max profit, variables will automatically, the changing variables for, the quantity cells would always be positive because we're looking for a max positive number. So those first two constraints aren't really needed, but we'll leave it there for now. And then finally, you're just going to make sure that for the solving method, it's set on GRG nonlinear. And then you're going to go ahead and click solve. So here you can see the solver has made some changes. It's telling us, so as you can see, it's saying it's recommending we make 80 of the lemonade and 40 of our juice. And and the reason for that is because clearly, as you can see, limeade is the lowest priced item, so it wants us to focus all of our ingredients and our time into making these juices because it will give us the most profit. And as you can see here, our total profit is $220. And if here in this window, if you want to don't want to keep these solutions, you can click restore original. You can also click here to go back to the parameters dialog so you can make additional changes. So that's it for my video on solver. I hope you all watching were able to learn something new from this, and thank you for watching.